want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.
And welcome everybody to the Four Tales podcast. I am your host, Kyrun Silva, along with the purple-clad warrior, Danny J. Quick. How you doing today?
It's your boy in the building, Danny J. Quick. You know me, man. I'm always got some purple somewhere, whether you can see it or not.
Well, I mean, if you do happen to go onto our Patreon and become a Patreon subscriber with the video feed, you will notice that Danny's entire back wall is covered in purple, just like Ace Blade. So if you want to see some behind the scenes things, go onto our patreon.com /Four Tales podcast and join up, see what all the fun's about. But why you are here today is not for Danny's lovely wall. It is to find some of the amazing, the greatest, the best comic book creators in the world. And you know what? That's what we're here for every week. You know, we want to bring you new things. We want to bring you fun and exciting things. But we do have some things from last week we need to go over. So first thing we want to go over is these poll results. And again, for a second week in a row, my poll choice has lost to Danny's. I can't believe this, but somehow Donatello was named the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and it wasn't really close. Again,
because it's facts, man. It's facts.
I'm disappointed in the people out there. So, like I said last week, if you didn't vote for Leonardo, please stop listening to this podcast. We don't want
Leonardo is the worst Ninja Turtle, bro. We're not gonna argue before we bring our esteemed guest on. But Leonardo is the blandest Ninja Turtle there is. So why would he be the best in any case? Like, he's just the standard. He's just like, I have to be here so that the rest of the turtles can be great.
Because he's the leader. He follows them because they know he's the best. Yeah, okay. He does everything by the book, but he is the best.
Ask Raphael if he's the best.
At the end of the day, Raphael still listens to him, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. All right.
All right. So let me ask you then, because I asked for your help on this one. Did you come up with another poll for next week?
I want to do something with Loki. I figure since Loki is coming up, we should do something with Loki. Have you seen the first issue yet? Before I spoil anything.
The episode, yeah, I saw it.
First episode, yeah. Okay. But we should ask, do people think Loki's gonna last this whole season? Because I think it might be the farewell of this version of Loki anyway. So I think we should ask if people think he'll make it through a whole season. Something simple. So
are we talking about like the comics version where Loki gets reincarnated as a young teen, or are you thinking something else completely?
Or, would be even better if we ask what iteration of Loki we think we'll have at the end, because we could have Lady Loki would be cool. I think it's going to be Lady Loki. We got preteen Loki, and there's a couple of versions of Loki that could come out of this. So,
all right, well, that's going to be our poll for this week, you guys. So if you want to go onto our Twitter page after you hear this episode, and the poll will be: will Loki survive the full season of his miniseries on Disney Plus? Are we going to get sued for saying Disney Plus or Loki?
I guess we'll see.
All right.
You're paying for it, so it doesn't matter to me.
I pay for everything, don't I?
Yeah. That was the deal. That was the contract I signed.
I got to review that contract. All right. Well, enough with that. Then let's get into why most people are here and ask for our esteemed guest. I'm excited about this guy because you know what? This is I don't even know how to say it. He's so renowned. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. He is the founder of Freestyle Komics, one half of the good, the bad, the nerdy, aka the Super Mad Brother, and the most enthusiastic person in comics. The host of Chat and Draw, Michael Watson.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Watson in the building.
What's up? How you doing?
All right. Did I do that okay? Like, was that perfect? I mean, I know I'm off, but I want to make sure I got that intro dressed right for you.
Hey, I feel good. I feel like the carpet was laid down. Felt like the roses were thrown up into the air.
There you go.
Felt like I was done right.
All right. Well, thank you for having. Wow, let's start that over again. Thank you for being on. It's been a long 48 hours, everybody. It's been a long 48 hours. But thank you for coming on to our show. And I know we're here to talk about your Kickstarter, which is doing fantastic right now, the Hotshot collection, right?
Yes.
But we want to talk about other things besides that before we get into Hotshot. So first thing, what comic did you read this week that wasn't Hotshot? And specifically, if you haven't listened to our podcast before, Danny and I have advocated for people to start reading comics on the toilet instead of taking your phone in there. So if you took a comic into the bathroom with you, what comic did you read this week?
Well, I got a couple books in of Kickstarter. So I got a Voyage.
Okay.
Got this guy in.
Ooh, nice.
And then I got my copy of They Call Her the Dancer.
Oh,
Okay, there you go. There you go.
I got mine too.
Oh yeah.
That's my read for this week. I'll definitely be reading that one this week.
Yeah, it got upgraded with the colors. The glossy cover and stuff like that. So this is actually my favorite book that Kat does. Kat does a few different books, and that's my favorite one she does. And that's what I had to read this week. If those just came in actually a couple days ago. And then of course I read my My Hero Academia latest issue.
Nice. What are they up to now? Like 24, 25?
300.
Wait, what? Huh? I'm confused.
Volumes? Or
yeah, I'm reading the manga.
Okay. They got hey, I need to catch up because I'm watching the anime, but I don't want to read too far ahead. My daughter reads all the manga. But
Yeah.
I don't want to get too far ahead because I really like the anime. So
I ain't got no problem with that. The cartoon take too long to come out. I'm all in.
wait, Danny, aren't you like Team Spoiler and all that? Anyways,
I am, but I like it so much that I'm willing to wait for this one.
he's all like, I'm Team Spoiler asterisk, except for the stuff I really like. Yeah.
Except for the stuff that I enjoy. I don't want to.
I don't want to ruin that stuff.
Yeah,
I found myself rereading Invincible and realizing again how amazing that comic book series is.
It is. Yeah. All right, man. All right, Danny, what about you? What did you read on the toilet?
With y'all, man, because I never read Invincible until I have the trades. I have like the first, I want to say the 3 collector trades, but I haven't read them. And I remember you and who was it? Charlie, when y'all were talking about Invincible last week, Charlie McKelvey, when y'all were talking about Invincible. And you've been a proponent of Invincible for a long time. And I just, I haven't gotten around to it. I got it late. So, I was already behind, and I'm gonna have to get into that. But this week I read I got Charles Simpson's book, Zero Gravity. That came in from the Kickstarter, and I read that one while I was sitting on the toilet one day. Like I literally got off of work, checked my mailbox. It was in the mailbox. I opened it, said, "Oh, Zero Gravity. I have to use the bathroom. Let me go into the house, downstairs to the toilet." I opened it up and I read the book while I was on the toilet, and it was like great. Instead of, I think this is a mental health thing. Like y'all know me. I was late this morning because I have PTSD. Sometimes I struggle with my timeliness. But I think that reading comics on the toilet is going to help me with my mental health. So I'm going to start doing it more often.
I mean, I've been advocating it for years. It releases some stress. It takes you away from all the hectic part of your life and just allows you to just focus on what's ahead of you. So I love it.
Yeah. And I sit on the toilet too long when I'm on my phone. Like I'll sit on the toilet for 20 minutes, but I don't have to if I have my phone in there. So I need to stop that. But Zero Gravity was a good book. It was the colors on it were amazing. Like they introduced some cool looking characters in there. They didn't get much of the story. It was pretty much a big brawl. But they introduced some cool looking characters so you can at least get a look at their powers and stuff like that. but the art and the colors were spectacular, absolutely great, and the lettering was really good on it too. So I'll definitely be checking that out in the future. What about you, Karen?
Well, what I read is something that is an award-winning book. It's an anthology, and it's something that all three of us contributed to, and that was Cthulhu Invades Oz. Now, Michael, you can now add this, that you are an award-winning artist, because this won Best Anthology for 2020 from the Comic Book Burrito Group. So we are now all award-winning creators, because we all contributed at least one page.
Hey, I'm in there. They added me on at the end, but I got in there.
Yeah, I was a little surprised when I saw you on that byline saying written by Danny. I was like, wait, what? I don't remember him in any of the group meetings, the chats.
I wasn't. Just so happens Mike actually put me on. They were looking. I think Travis was looking for somebody to do a couple pages there, and Mike was like, "Oh, let me see if Danny's available." I guess I just happened to be on his brain that day, and I'm glad that he did, because I'm definitely putting that in my TikTok byline now. Award-winning comic book writer.
Yeah, I mean, I did it. I put it like when I first found out about it a few months ago. So, but it's actually a really good book. I was very pleased on at least my portion of it. This is probably one of my best artwork to date. And there was a lot of good stories in here that I didn't get a chance to read everything when we were going through production. So when I finally got the book, I sat down and said, I'm gonna read it. And I think I read it in 2 sittings on the toilet. So it was really good. It was really good. And if you're out there, check it out. It's called Cthulhu Invades Oz. It's literally exactly what the title says. The demon god Cthulhu comes and invades Oz. And what it is now different parts of Oz, different characters, and they're part of the story of how Cthulhu invades their portion of Oz. So check it out from Orange Cones Productions. But now let's get to the meat of this, and that is Michael Watson's Hotshot. So for anybody that hasn't actually read your book before, Michael, tell us what Hotshot is all about.
Oh, well, Hotshot's about a young man trying to win back his girlfriend and prove to her that he was not cheating on her without revealing he's a superhero, while not getting kicked out of college because he's never there because he is a superhero. So he's got a lot that he's juggling on his plate. We're 10 issues in on it. We're collecting the first 10 issues in the 2 trades, Volume 1 and Volume 2, collecting issues 1 through 4 and 5 through 8. Issue 0 is going to be lettered with, because that was a silent issue, as one of the bonuses were put on there. Issue 9 being the most recent issue, you can add on. And courtesy of Victor Dandridge, we re-lettered the first issue of Hotshot for this Kickstarter as well. So nice little tweaks and edits for new and old fans.
I love it. Why does Hotshot even want Carla back? Like, I know the people who know us, the 3 of us, or at least the 2 of us, know that I hate Carla. I don't know why Carla even deserves Hotshot. I saw Danny Cooper post the other day. She doesn't deserve him. Hotshot is out here saving lives. He's out here, risking his life, fighting Void. Have y'all seen Void? Have you seen what Void can do to people? He out here crushing whole armies. Like, he's over here destroying whole almost states, the whole state of dang on Ohio out here dang on, and you can't give this man a pass because he out here saving lives. Okay, he didn't text you back, he didn't let you know where he was. Cool, I get you, Carla, I understand, but get a man a break. Why does he even want her back?
You can't say dango anymore on this episode, just so you know.
Already, how was that 10? Was that my 10 dango quota? Okay, yeah,
that was your quota.
Hey, what's so funny is that Denny J. Quick says, why doesn't she give him a break? And she did. Issue 7, she gave him a break. They stayed together. They were going to work it out. Your man was supposed to be out with her, and yes, something came up. He had to fight a whole woman that makes dragons.
Something kind of important. It's
kind of important. Teamed up with another superhero. That's cool. But after the fight was finished, He went to go get coffee and drinks with the sexy Dinah girl while his girlfriend's back at the dorm waiting for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're talking about. I'm not saying you gotta call and text me while you're fighting dragons because, I know you're a superhero now. I'm cool with that. But
you get off a lot of spoilers here, though, man. We want people to read the book.
The issues are out, though.
I want them to read the drama. That's what we bringing them in for. But you out here stopping at Starbucks, sipping on a juice box, walking out, getting the paparazzi, getting you all pictures, and Carla's back at the dorm looking like Bobo the Fool.
I think that's what it was right there. It was the pictures. The pictures caught her off guard. Cool. Now I know, and I've been married to my lovely wife for 15 years now, right? And I know that if I got caught by pictures out drinking coffee with some other woman, it would be trouble. It would absolutely be trouble, especially when she's not aware of it. Cool. I get that. But
and that woman's wearing Daisy Dukes for a superhero costume.
Hey, absolutely. It's a wrap for me. It's a wrap for your boy at that point. I get you on that. But my thing is if my memory serves me correct, he's trying to help her get back home. Like at that point, he's like, yo, let me figure out how I can help the situation so we don't get this dragon thing happening again. So
that's not the point, though.
Exactly.
That's not his job. I mean, come on. He got his girl waiting.
Okay. Well, then at that point,
walked out of Starbucks with a juice box, chilling, just sipping it like
he got no care in the world.
Not a care in the world.
I'm not saying that Michael Watson, aka Hotshot, is a perfect person. I'm just saying that with great power comes great girlfriend responsibility. So you got to take them lumps sometimes as the girlfriend to a superhero or the boyfriend, in the case, you got to take them lumps sometimes, and you just got to understand.
Said you just got to understand. Well, I'm just saying, man, it's kind of like the straw that breaks the camel back. She was willing to work it out. She was willing to understand he's a superhero. But my boy out there with, Carrie Kelly designed a super dope character that's also, super hot mom. So Hotshot's out here drinking juice boxes and kicking it on Statue of Liberty. And, that was it. And I could see even if it was a guy, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad. But, I mean, we've all seen Dinah Girl.
It was the juice box. We're going to blame it on the juice box. We're going to say, blame it on the juice.
That was my favorite panel to draw in that issue, too. When my man was sipping on that juice box, I'm like, oh, you about to be in so much trouble, boy. I hope that juice box is good.
He looks so casual.
Was that juice worth it?
Love it.
All right. So how much of Hotshot is based off of personal experience? Like,
honestly, but just mainly the foundation of Hotshot, really. Probably about 35% of stuff that happened to me in college. We'll use the core of it and then expand on it. Like the new story arc I'm doing right now, which is that would be in 10, 11, 12, and 13, is actually based off a situation in my childhood, and I don't have any qualms talking about it or whatever because I talked to my mom about it before I did it. So it will be exploring spousal abuse, and you being a kid and being around that and how that affects you and stuff like that. I let my mom read the story and I talked to her about it because my mom was, my stepfather wasn't the best. We'll keep it like that or whatnot. And and I want to have stories that are grounded in reality for people to be able to relate to them, but we just use them at their core, and then we expand upon them with adding, the comic book aspect and seeing what we can do with the characters and take them, because this is going to be very heavy for a Hotshot, because it was heavy for me, because after the last situation where I literally had to stand in front of my mom with a baseball bat and say, you got to get the hell out of here or whatnot. I hadn't seen my stepfather, seen him for several years. until I was like down here, and I moved down here to Columbus, and I saw him, and like I felt a certain way about it, like I still do, and like I still have grudges with it, and my mom knows this or whatnot. But then that got me to thinking, like, what can I do? Like, it made me look at myself, like how I was when I was a kid, how I was when I was a teenager, and how I am now. And it made me come up with a couple questions that we explore with Hotshot in this new story arc. So if there's a ton of comic book stuff, there are Easter eggs in there for Danny J. Quick to get a hold of. We explore this whole thing with his past, and we introduce a couple new characters as well. So it's a very character-driven story, and your man's about to go through the ringer.
I didn't know we'd get that deep when I asked that question. My bad.
It's absolutely cool because the story is very close to me, and it's something that I wanted to tell. And Victor and Danny Cooper are probably, outside of Danny J. Quick, are the biggest fans of the series. And we talk about all the issues. We have it plotted up to 100 issues, and we're always constantly looking back where we're at and where we're going and whatnot. And when I sat down and I read all 10 issues together, I realized something was missing. I was like, oh shoot, he's getting way too comfortable with his powers and not getting his ass kicked enough. I need to reevaluate this.
That's a Robert Kirkman formula right there. My hero is too comfortable right now. Let me kill somebody off or beat the shit out of him.
That's terrible, man. Listen, man, I feel that, man, because I think that's a great idea, and I think as writers, it's great to put our personal experiences in comics. I grew up with a situation in my home with my father and my mother, and my mom had patience that I don't think I could have as an adult, and I am gonna enjoy reading that, and I can't wait to let it touch things in my memories that I don't want it to touch. But is that that arc coming after this 11 coming after this arc, or are you doing it after Zero event?
No, that's happening right now. So on the Kickstarter, which by the way, also Travis Gibb has given us the digital copy of Cthulhu versus Oz. So when we hit $10,000, not only are you're getting Cthulhu versus Oz digital for free, 168-page award-winning anthology comic book, courtesy of Travis Gibb, but you're going to get issue 10, which is the first part in this story arc. We immediately jump right into it with issue 10. 11, I'm hoping it punches you in the gut, because I really, I love Hotshot as a character, and one of my favorite things about him is that he wears his feelings on his sleeve. And Invincible, which I hate and love at the same time, with this cartoon, I think they explored this aspect of Mark more so in the cartoon than they did in the comic book, because I reread it and I really don't remember them touching on it, but the actual end result of failure, they really captured in the cartoon that I don't think that resonated with Mark. I don't think they did that in the comic book very much at all. But the cartoon, they really pulled it out. And I'm like, that's what I just did with this issue. But, we're neither here nor there, so we're just going to rock with it. But I want to show that, like, our heroes, while they're heroes and we look up to them, they still make mistakes. There's still moments of half steps or second thoughts in them, because they're human at the end of the day. And I want them to fall down the shaft, and then I got to write and figure out how to pick them back up.
Now, I was doing some research on your character, and I tried to deep dive into research, and usually that means I go to page 2 on Google. And I found something that interests me with Hotshot is that he's only 5'7", which is short superhero wise. Was there a particular reason why you made him shorter than most superheroes would be?
Yes, because I am short. And the first character that got me into comic books was Wolverine. And I loved how tiny he was because it was X-Men number 17, and the X-Men have these fantastic powers. You've got Cyclops with this optic blast, this commanding leader. Iceman turns to ice. Colossus has organic metal. Beast is a beast. Psylocke is a sexy ninja. And I'm like, oh my God. And they're getting their butts kicked by Omega Red, but the dude with the butter knives coming out of his hands keeps getting up.
Butter knives.
And like, I'm like, oh God, he's so small. He's smaller than Jubilee. I'm like, Jesus, I want to be him. This is how I want to be at school. I want people to step to me, and I'm all like, nah, bub, you don't want to do that. So there's definitely aspects of Wolverine in Hotshot, but I definitely want him to be short because you don't get a lot of short superheroes out there, and because I was short.
Man, you think this Oh, go ahead, man.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was saying he's taking representation to another level, adding now height along with skin color. I mean, now going to height representation.
Short people need love too, man. And 5'7" isn't really even short. Like, that's not short.
Superhero wise, that's considered short. I mean, usually your superhero is 6 feet. I'm 5'7", so I felt good when I read it. I don't look as good as Hotshot, but I got to lose some of this Corona weight, but I'm good.
He's played at 6'2", but a lot of that is the boots. So
there you go.
I got a question. I was reading issue 9, I think it was, of Hotshot. And you know me, I'm the purple guy. So anytime anybody purple shows up, of course I pay attention. So I want to know why did are we going to see Spectrum again anytime soon?
Spectrum is he's going to be our running gag.
Not the purple guy. Come on now.
The purple guy is always a running gag. Just letting you know.
Spectrum is an old character I used to have in my comic books back when they were MJW comics, and he was a mainstay hero. But I felt like I kind of I've grown from that design and stuff. And as I was going through old artwork and stuff, I was like, oh, I remember this guy. Let's pull him out and let's see if I as a writer can make a joke work with Dragon Ball Z. And the colors, blame the colors on Veronica. She's the colorist. She picked. Okay. I gave no direction on this colors. So I think it's just a coincidence that she went with purple. It's a color that we don't use a lot. It's Hotshot's dominated by the blues. But I wanted to start having reoccurring, minor villains that Hotshot could, entertain himself with, and hopefully the joke gets across in the book. Because that's the first issue that I actually wrote of Hotshot.
Yeah, because you gave my man like 6 panels. Like he was in and out.
You can't have that much purple on a comic book and have people read it. I mean, that's just too much purple.
Apparently, yeah.
The only person that wants that much purple in the comic outside of Danny is Prince, and he gone. So,
hey. I love it, man. I love it.
No. With Spectrum, because you were saying this is somebody that you have for a while. So that, for me, that's what's called a legacy character. Somebody that you've used for decades and whatnot. How many of your characters do you have that you've been stored away that you're thinking about putting in the book really later on?
Oh, we probably got about, somewhere around 25 to 30 of them or whatnot that are just like back in the day, back when I was in high school, back in the beginning of college or whatnot. There's still some characters that have not had enough time to be fleshed out in our FSK books yet or whatnot. But, just teardropping these characters in where we think they can fit at, giving them good spots or whatnot. There's one character that we've had for a while named Gravita, who I've designed and had a personal attachment to, and just trying to find the right book to put her in. We just introduced JFab in one of our Cypher books or whatnot. Now she made her first appearance in Hotshot. So hopefully
I'll ask you about JFab too.
So hopefully with the content that we're going to be dropping here over the next year and a half, especially with our Cypher book, we're going to see more new characters sprinkled around the world of FSK, because we are trying to build up to our big grand event, our first huge crossover with all of our titles.
Okay. So I'm assuming then, and I want to say this delicately, I'm assuming that there is no plans at this point for anybody to revive Short Fuse.
At this point, no, not that I am aware of. Those doors are shut, but you never know. Mr. Sean Mack could come back and just say he's ready to do it again or whatnot.
Okay.
I like JFab, man. I like the design of her. She's got the purple also, so I'm down. I'm down with that.
And she got her stuff off.
Yeah. JFab came in and knocked old big dude out. I forget his name, but the big brown guy. she got him up out of there. Now speaking of short fuse, man, I know I just made a post today about the one thing that I regret about short fuse. But other than that one thing, I learned a lot. I met a lot of good people. I wanted to ask you, how do you feel like, your experiences with short fuse helped you grow as an artist, as a creator, as a businessman? How do you think it helped you?
I think it helped me out a ton. My previous publisher, prior to short fuse, dangled money and grand ideas in front of my eyes, and I was bamboozled by it, and I really found that out as that contract wore thin. But I immediately saw the difference when I came over to short fuse, when Sean specifically was talking about book sales and how they move books, production level, and all stuff, things that I wish I would have heard with the previous publisher that would have established more confidence in what they were doing. Because that was stuff that I didn't know about or whatnot. And, when Sean really called me on my stuff and asked me what my audience is, how much money my audience can bring in, and I gleefully said, 5,000, easy, 5,000, no problem. I know I got people that'll buy my stuff. And, he he allowed that to ride for me to see for myself that, no, we need to adjust that Kickstarter goal. All right. Need to adjust that quickly. Can we take that down? I'm thinking maybe I could do 1,000. And that's something.
Sean was good for that. Sean was good for letting you know what your what your numbers actually are, buddy. He'll definitely let you know.
Absolutely, and and not just like, albeit some of it is his opinion, he can specifically explain and dissect why he's saying what he's saying, and bring a lot of validity to that conversation, and it makes me sit down and go back and look at what I'm doing at that time, and because I thought I had a strong comic book convention presence, I didn't realize that, I have a strong convention presence, but my convention presence isn't my social media presence. Those are two separate audiences. And, trying to build up my audience on social media. I mean, the whole me going live on Facebook was birthed out of short fuse, like me trying to build my audience and get people familiar with me and stuff like that. And, having a website, a distribution system for, getting the books out and things, all the stuff that I've learned from them on Kickstarter, running a Kickstarter, managing a Kickstarter. I learned a lot. And, when he put me into the publisher role there, I think that skyrocketed my IP, myself as a brand, as a person, when that happened. And, a lot more people were aware of me because short fuse had a really decent sized audience on social media. So I learned a lot. I can't say anything less than that.
How important is it for you to take the experience that you have at a convention and get that barterism basically and bring it to your social media? Because like you said, I'm someone at a convention, I'm quiet. I sit there, I draw. I don't really have that showmanship to bring people in. How much do you feel like that's a good, basically, trial ground for things that you might do in the future, like on social media or maybe in your Kickstarters?
So the way I am at a comic book convention, it basically renders me that I have no embarrassment card. And I know if this stuff works in person, chances are it's entertaining on a screen when I have access to people that I don't have access to. The great thing about social media is you potentially can reach every person in the world versus a convention where you're dealing with, 11, maybe 15,000 people throughout a weekend, and you don't even see all those numbers. You see a percentage of those numbers. But if those people are enjoying the entertainment value and the pitching and selling that I'm doing at the show, how can I equate that to an online presence, aka you get a show like Chat and Go, that has gone 150 episodes now, in just over a year, or FSK Day, where I put together with Danny Cooper, Veronica Smith, we had over 50 different indie creatives appear throughout that show. And we asked everybody to give us $1. We raised over $800 in one day, 12 hours of streaming. Or the next event that we're going to do is June 16th. We're going to be doing a backathon, where I'll be streaming across 8 different networks. And my goal is to get, I haven't picked the number yet, but let's say 100 people. We want 100 people to back the Hotshot campaign at $1. We'll be announcing specific a prize for that everyone that's already backed it is going to get this as well. But chances are I'll probably unlock the entire digital library that we have as an offering, but also so that's about 20 different comic books. Or no, 30 comic books. Plus I'm going to add the entire FSK library for digitally backing us at $1. At $1 or whatnot, just so we can get more numbers on it. That's a technique that I saw Twitchers use. They go online, they'll stream for about 12 hours or whatnot, and it's just a backathon. They're just trying to get subscriptions. They have a goal set and they're just trying to get a bunch of subscriptions, and it really works in their audience because they already have a fan base there, and then people that are already subscribed to them will give subscriptions to other people because they think this person's entertaining, because they think this person's fun. Now, I have no idea if this is going to work, but it's something to shoot for and try. And, Danny, Lori Foster, Veronica Smith, and I are trying to put together a template and things that we're going to do or whatnot. But that's the goal, trying to get, at least 50 to 100 people to back it at $1, just so we get those numbers up.
Now, is Twitch the next thing you're going to take over?
What'd you say?
Oh, is Twitch the next thing you're going to take over?
I would love it. But something else that I've learned is that I've got to understand my reach. I've got to understand my reach and volume. While I, as a creative, want to hold on one second. Never mind. While me as a creator, I want to reach as many lanes as possible. I've got to understand my lane. If I would absolutely love to take over Twitch, but in order for me to have the type of audience that equates my comic book stuff on Twitch, I would have to dedicate all my time to Twitch. Yeah. Because Twitch it's a thing about, well, a lot of the stuff that we do is about consistency. But from what I've seen, because I've partnered up with ID, aka Inevitably Dope, Midori Hannah, who are they're big time Twitchers on Twitch. And they have super dedicated audiences and they got a lot of subscribers and stuff like that. But what I've noticed for them is that, ID, for example, he streams every day at the same time, every single day. And when you watch his stream, he has 30 to 40 people hanging out with him, watching him play games. But, he's got, thousands of subscriptions. So he knows his audience. He hangs out with them and stuff like that. But he's done that. To equate that, what ID has done with Twitch is what I do with comic books. And I don't have that type of time to dedicate my comic book time into Twitch time. So I've got to find cheats and shortcuts, aka ID and Midori. Have them not guest, but they're actually official hosts on our podcast show, Ages of Nerdy. Ages of Nerdy was a thing I started with my friend Katie May. And, we were getting 2 to 3 people watching that and listening to it a week. Now we average 25 to 35 people tuning in a week. And that's not like in and out. Those people stay for the entire 2-hour show. And, they participate with us. So I would love to take over Twitch, but I don't have the time or any energy to devote what needs to happen to make that happen. But I have a presence on Twitch. I have a presence on Twitter. I have a presence on Instagram. So if I need to be found there, I can be found there. But my main thing is making the comic books.
Twitch is a full-time job for some people.
Yeah.
So.
I need to get on Twitch, man. I just like you saying, I don't have the time to dedicate towards it. And I don't think my particular skill set is good for Twitch. And but I know it's expanding rapidly. Like, and people, my kids shoot are on Twitch watching people, play video games and talk about, D&D and building and mods and stuff like that. So it's definitely a great audience, and they love, supporting their creators. So I see what you're doing with Chat and Draw, man. And that right there in itself, man, it's amazing. Like the ability to do multiple shows a week. I know you're cutting it down a lot now, but just how quickly you got to 100 episodes, man. It was crazy. It was crazy for me to watch, man. So bravo to you, for real.
Thank you. Yeah, and that was part of that realization. Like, I was streaming more. Every time I was streaming, I was drawing, but I wasn't drawing Hotshot because I was drawing other people's characters or whatnot. So yeah, I'm still going to do multiple episodes depending on like how I schedule people, whatever. But I've started I guess you could say teaming up with other people that have podcasts that stream on Twitch and things like that. And we've kind of like taken a specific day for each other. So when our episode, like Chat and Draw, is dedicated on Wednesdays, so people know for sure that's like the one day of the week that I'm definitely doing it. I'm gonna have a guest on or whatnot. While Moana Nui podcast is on Thursdays, Unlikely Hero Studio Presents is on Mondays. I know Morgan Iverson is doing a new show. He just hasn't got everything together for it, but he's take Tuesdays. We got Tony Clapper for 5 Star Fridays. And we're all at the same time. Tony's at 6, but the rest of us are at 8 p.m. So that way we don't congest each other's traffic, because a lot of us share the same audience. A lot of the same people that like each other, they like us too. So we don't want to take from each other's audience. So we've been sharing that time or whatnot. If we get on, then I'm watching the show, or I'm making comments, or I'm hosting it on my Twitch channel. But I had to sit back and say, all right, I can only for sure do a Wednesday for Chat and Draw and do a Friday for Agents of Nerdy. I'll still stream other days, but I'm not going to stream during those times, and those won't be scheduled streams. Like I think I streamed the last page of Hotshot I drew because I was drawing Ironsmith on there, and so just random stuff like that. But I want to get this book out. I want the whole thing with the Kickstarter being out right now, Danny and I both agreed that once we drop this Kickstarter, that means that we're releasing comic books. And that means that we can't miss a beat. And so our objective and goal is to come out with a new book every 2 to 3 months. And once Hotshot, 10 is being colored, 11 is being inked and colored right now. So I need to finish drawing 11 so I can get into 12. Because if I don't finish these books, you guys are going to be pissed because of the cliffhangers. They're crazy. So I need that content to come out. But, reassessing and looking at, I can't even say ours. I have to say my own failures. When I was leading FSK and, trying to figure out how not to go back down those lanes, not making those same mistakes. I was so clouded by the fact that, we got Hotshot, we got Visions, we got Heroes, we got Cypher. Then I need those books, when a new book comes out, all the books need to come out. Like, we need the new issue of Vigilance. We need the new issue of Heroes because the new issue of Hotshot came out. So that type of thinking got wiped completely, which we're focusing more on it being the FSK verse. You're following the saga of Freestyle Komics. So whatever our current issue is, that's the book that we're focused on. So for the new releases, it's Hotshot number 10. We're not worried about the other books. So if anybody comes to the table, what's the new issue of Heroes International? The new FSK book is Hotshot 10. And, redone the graphics on our covers. And we've actually got the reading order on the covers now for you to be able to read the books in the order that we intend to. Now, that's just Easter egg stuff. Each book still is its own story. It has its own growth and things like that. But in Danny and I's eyes, if you read the book in this order, leading up to our big event, Zero of an Emergence, you're going to get more out of it. Do you have to read all of them? No, you don't. If you're just a fan of Vigilance, then you're good. You can just read Vigilance or whatnot. But I
am a fan of Vigilance. I love that, man. I think that's a great idea. And speaking of cliffhangers, and I'm gonna lead this into our quick takes, but you did at the end of issue 9, something you did reminded me of like one of the most recent episodes of My Hero Academia. So my quick takes are all gonna be My Hero Academia based, since I know you're a big fan, and I'm still sort of new to My Hero. Okay. So some of this stuff that I might ask might be a little spoilery because you know more about it than I do, and you know the future of it. But I don't mind that. I don't mind spoilers in this case, this specific case. So we're gonna do my quick takes, and if you're new to the podcast, my quick takes are 5 questions for our esteemed guest, and you get one, or what are we doing? 45 seconds. You get 45 seconds to answer. Kyrun is gonna play a little sound after I ask you the question, and you get 45 seconds right off the top of your head. And you got to go for it. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, question number 1, and all these are going to be My Hero Academia based. So, tell me, who is your favorite character in My Hero Academia outside of the big 3, which is Midoriya, Bakugo, and Todoroki? I think those are the big 3. So outside of those big 3, who's your favorite character and why?
That's such a good question, and that's worded correctly. I don't remember all their names, but my favorite character outside of Big I believe, the dude with that's huge, yellow, like a round, big teddy bear who absorbs the energy and redistributes it.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about. You're talking about the sugar.
Yeah, no, not the sugar guy. He's got like I love him. I love his design and his power because I thought
when I talks to the animals, Twitter.
Nope. Maybe he hasn't been. Oh, maybe he hasn't been introduced in the cartoon yet, in the anime yet. But he's just a big round ball, and like his head is almost shaped like the Juggernaut, and you think he's just super strong.
Fat Gum.
Yeah.
Fat Gum. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. When they were fighting, when they were going after the league, there was that was dope. Yeah, that's dope. Okay, question number 2. This recent episode, not this week's episode, but last week's episode, Deku found out that he's going to be getting the powers of all the previous wielders of One for All. So my question to you is: Deku OP?
Deku is what Deku needs to be. Your man said at the beginning of the show, "This is my story of how I became the world's #1 hero." There had to be some facts behind it. You don't start an intro off like that, like you the #1 hero. You gonna be the #1 hero, and this is his tale. This is how he comes there because he's got all the powers. I thought that was great. I know some people may not like it. He has too many powers and whatnot. I don't care. Deku is Deku, and he needs to ride out. #1 hero. I'm for it.
I'm down for it, man. Because I think what is it? All for One. Like I said, the end of Hotshot 9 reminded me of this recent episode where they showed, like, he's coming back. Like, he's gonna come back and he's gonna be trouble. So ain't nobody right now that can stop him. Like ain't nobody right now that can stop him when he decides to get out. So Deku gonna need them powers. He gonna need them.
Absolutely. And that's what's so great about the series, man. I'm where I'm at reading it, it feels like it's coming to an end in the same way that the Naruto story came to an end, and it took a little break, and then it came back as Naruto Shippuden. So that's the feeling I'm getting. That's my theory. That like they are going to end this saga. They may take a break and come back as an older generation of heroes or whatnot. But so much stuff is happening right now. It's just so intense. I'm like, yes, he absolutely does need these powers, and Deku, in the same vein of Naruto, it's a series you have to ride with it to start getting your roses and really enjoying it. The payoffs are all there.
Naruto. I got shamed in my small anime community because I was the first one saying, look, Naruto is better than Dragon Ball Z. Naruto overtook Dragon Ball Z for me probably 100 episodes into Shippuden or something like that. And I was like,
absolutely, I agree.
I was like, bro, like when they got to Rock Lee, like characters like Rock Lee and Shikamaru, like their stories, like their backgrounds and their. Why are you looking like that, Kyrun? What is it?
I can't get into Naruto. I watched maybe 6-7 episodes of it, and I was like, I can't.
What?
That's okay, because I couldn't get into it too. I thought it was trash until you find the episode of Naruto that converts you. It's gonna be like that for me. And it was the Rock Lee episode where he took the weights off, and that was what pulled me in and made me sit down.
I actually do like that episode because of Rock Lee. I like Rock Lee, but the rest of Naruto, I'm like, y'all can just kick rocks on that. If it was all Rock Lee, I'll watch it.
It's everybody has a different episode to where they, where they're hooked. Mine was when Naruto finally got the he summoned the Toad. What was it? When he finally summoned the Toad to fight against Gaara. I was like, okay, like we getting it. But yeah, so I'm with you. So quick take
family
question.
Watches Naruto but me. It's sad.
It's a great anime, man. It's just great. And then I hit it during that time where I had time to watch consistently. But anyway, quick take question number 3. So anime, all right, my kids all watch anime, and I watched anime growing up, but as an adult, you notice things that you didn't notice as a kid, or you knew to notice, but it's a different perspective, right? So me and my wife, I put on Invincible, and me and my wife were watching it, and the kids were coming in because they were like, oh, what's this? They talk about, sex in there. They talk about all this other stuff. And they were like, oh, no, they can't. My wife was like, they can't watch this. And I was like, they watch anime, right? Like, they watch, the animes that they watch talk about all this stuff. But there's a trope in anime where there's always this one really pervy character, right? And in My Hero, that character is Mineta.
Yeah.
So what do you think about these anime tropes, and how do you, do you let your kids watch anime as a, because I'm sure you watched stuff growing up. I know we watched Dragon Ball Z, and Naruto had Pervy Sage. Literally, Pervy Sage was what they called him. Mm-hmm. So do you let your kids watch anime, and what do you think about that as an adult?
Yeah, all my kids watch it. I do kind of monitor what they watch. I know anime has some stuff in it. We're pretty open with it. There's a lot of anime that they watch. Now, if I do monitor what they watch, if I see something that's too much, I will say, yeah, you got to switch that one. You're not ready. But there's not too much that I say that too. They don't watch things out of pocket. But we all watched Invincible. So, and I think Invincible is a great story. I'm very much so tied to that story or whatnot. Mineta, he's a hilarious character. I absolutely think he's hilarious. I love him. And I love him because of his pervy ways. But here's what it is.
I actually started cheering for Mineta in the exams portion at that one part. And I was like, bruh, Mineta's weird, but that great brush, you gotta develop that power. And the power is like, so how can you use this to be strong? But whatever.
Well, you saw him in the last episode, right? Where he's bouncing off his own balls everywhere. That was dope. Yeah.
I was like, they stick to everyone else, but I bounce off.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mineta. I'm starting to cheer for you a little bit, you little pervert.
It's just hilarious watching him work, because he is the comedic relief or whatnot. Yeah. Right? But that's the thing. That's what I like about My Hero Academia versus Dragon Ball Z, is they make you like all the damn characters to some degree. Mm-hmm. People that you think are just throwaway characters are not throwaway characters, because they all get a focus episode or whatnot. And they're very good at bringing the potential out of a character.
Yeah.
How can you not cheer for a guy walking around in a diaper trying to fight crime?
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. All right. So quick take number 4. Okay. So Vigilance is one of my favorite characters in the Hotshot verse. But I think anywhere else, Vigilance would be a villain. So if villain is one of my favorite things about My Hero is that all the villains have these crazy, grandiose themes, right? They all have this big purpose behind what they're doing. They all have these monologues that they speech off. So if Vigilance was a villain in My Hero Academia, what would be her thing, and what would she want to do to take over the world?
Well, Vigilance. I don't know. Y'all haven't read the first three. You have, didn't you? But if Vigilance was a villain, she would just want to bring desolation and destruction. And
she could do it too.
Huh?
She could do it too.
She could do it too. She would want to cause suffering because that is what she gets stronger off of and whatnot. Basically, just bringing shadow and darkness to the light.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can already see it coming, but I'm ready for Hotshot versus Vigilance, bro. Whenever it happens, I'm ready for it because Hotshot's clearly stronger than Void. Like, she gets stronger. Like you just said, she gets stronger when whoever she's fighting is getting beat. She gets stronger, it seems like. So I can't wait for Hotshot versus Vigilance because there's no way that he should be able to beat her. So, whatever deep light fire inside of him that he has to dig to get, hey, I'm ready for that, bro. I'm ready for it.
Oh, it's so much fun.
You can tell me if you want, man. You can go ahead and let me in on the secrets if you want. You know,
yeah,
it's just us here.
Spoiler. So
I love how Danny just keeps that guys underneath him, just always ready to pull it out. Spoiler, right there.
It's right there if you want it. But all right, my last quick take. All right, so My Hero Academia, I feel like there's tragedy coming. I feel like there's tragedy. I want to say Lemillion's story was so sad. Like, you know, what happened to him was so sad. But I think one of the characters is gonna die. One of the main characters, or at least one of the classmates in 1A will die. And maybe you already know because you've read farther ahead. But pick one of those characters to die from class 1A, and tell me why their story would bring the class together.
Oh man, damn! Any person in class A could bring the class together. Anybody would, because they've all had signature moments. They've all persevered through, challenges and pain. They've rallied together so many times. They are that whole squad is ride or die. They are the Fast and Furious family of anime. And if anybody in there goes down, it would like you hurt anyone on there, they're all coming together like fucked up. You know that, right? It's done. Yeah, I couldn't pick a person. It would just be anybody in that class because they are all down for each other. You know what? Bakudo. I always pronounce his name. Him, I think they would go belligerent. And I think they would show the most emotion for him.
Yeah.
We're not even going to include Deku in this. Just because Bakudo's such an a-hole or whatnot, I think the class would go crazy if he died.
I don't know if you saw it, but on TikTok, people were going crazy just because Bakugo showed a little bit of character development. Like he said, from him, like, I'm gonna beat all you a-holes, to what did he say? I'll watch your back and you watch my back. That was the only thing he changed. Like he moved that little inch, and people were like, "Oh, Bakugo's the greatest."
Bakugo became the greatest when Eraserhead was talking about him. When Eraserhead was talking about him to the newscaster and said, "If you knew him the way that I knew him, he would no way in the world he would ever become a villain." And then right at that same line, your boy had the perfect opportunity to turn villain, and he said, "I'll beat all you jerks." And I was like, Bakugo, you talking young smack right now, son. You surrounded. That room is small. You got to chill out. But my man said no. He wants all the smoke. He don't care if he don't care if it's Godzilla smoke. He don't care if it's mouse smoke. He wants it all. That is the moment where I fell in love with Bakugo, right then and there. And I said, they could have did the obvious thing and make this dude a villain and made him Deku's rival. And they just reignited his heroship. Yeah. Nobody else in the class could have did that but him. That moment, the hardest moment in My Hero.
Very true. I thought they were obviously gonna, make him become a villain. I was like, this is gonna be Naruto and Sasuke all over again. He's gonna go dark, and the whole series is gonna be them trying to get back. But I'm glad they didn't. I love that moment too.
Whew. Tingles.
Well, that was it for me, man. I appreciate that. That was like the best quick take so far. I like that, man. That was cool.
That's a good little heater. I like that.
And now a word from our sponsor.
And now back to the show.
Gotta take a moment.
Because he gets on my nerves. I was like, dude, would you just shut up? Would you, get off of Deku's back, man? I hated Bakudo. And then in that moment, when he stood up to all the villains, these wasn't some scrub-ass villains.
Nah, they weren't scrubs either.
This was all the inner circle. If my man touches you, you disintegrate.
Literally.
He's the villain. And Bakudo's just there I want the smoke.
Bring it.
Give me all of it.
Legit.
I don't know.
Yeah, Bakudo's a good character. I'm down with that. He got on my nerves. All of them get on my nerves. Like Naval Laser gets on my nerves too. Even what's his name? Not Hawks. What's the Dark Shadow? Dang, what's his name?
Oh, I know you're talking about. He gets on your nerves.
He gets on my nerves too because I feel like he could be so powerful. But he's scared. He's scared that the power is gonna overtake him. But I'm like, okay. But I like his design. I like his quirk. So yeah.
I was thinking you were gonna say Uraraka would be your choice, Michael, honestly.
Oh yeah. Your Gravity dies.
Yeah. She holds everybody together. She's the soul outside of Deku. She's the soul of the whole class 1A.
Yeah. Or Ida. Ida dies. That would be tough too. I think you're right though. All of them, everybody in the class has a special moment. Even Yaoyorozu, her, she, her and Todoroki, their little bond and stuff. It's just a great anime. It
is, man, and that's what I've always said. I read it faithfully every week. My Hero Academia has reinvigorated the '90s kid in me and what superheroes always were and what they are supposed to be at the end of the day. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy, the darker takes. I enjoy, Invincible is still the greatest comic book that's ever been made. I get a kick out of The Boys. There are some very good stories, but, at the end of the day, I still want a section or a place I can go and just see heroes be heroes. And that's that undying will to do what's right, because it's in their system to do that thing and to do everything in their power, broken arm, tore up uniform, busted blood gushing out, to fight until their last breath. Deku, he makes these epic ass speeches all the time. He wants to be All Might, or he wants to be just as good as All Might. And you would think it's corny, but it's not. It is not. I can't wait till y'all see Deku at issue 300. That boy's a problem.
I gotta start reading it now.
I don't know. I think we should have made a poll about My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
There's so much of this episode about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we should switch it up.
Let's make it happen.
It's another big influencer. If you ask me to tell you those things, Naruto is obviously a huge influence. Invincible is a huge influence. Wolverine is the catalyst. Spider-Man is the foundation. But as I, grow as a writer or creator, and, my fandom has expanded, My Hero Academia is those big hit moments, those character moments, the ability to make everybody important and matter is just so well done. Deku as a character is just dope. That driven, non-deterrent, unstoppable spirit that he has. All Might, is incredible. All Might's a great character. He has, what he's going through, whatnot's really cool. The rivalry, the pushing. It's just, there's a lot of points there that are just so good about it.
Well, let me see. As far as, because we're talking about influencers and schooling, things like that, I want to talk about you and being a teacher and teaching. I assume it's children. I don't know if maybe you do adults too, but teaching just art and comic book. How did you get into that?
I've always worked with kids ever since I was back in high school. I used to do summer programming and stuff like that. And I remember me and one of my, brothers back home in Cleveland, we were working with kids in the summer program. And I've just been doing it ever since then. It really took a catalyst or became its own when I moved down here to Columbus. And I was working at the Boys and Girls Club for the summer, and I was doing the art program for them, and that led me to to really be able to actually come up with lesson plans and come up with stuff that I thought was fun, is cool, and not do any of the stuff that I disliked in art that I thought was boring and lame, like crafting. I'm not knocking crafting, but crafting's not for me. All right, I don't want to do craft art. I want to do real art. And I wanted to show them art that actually is in life. Like, I got promoted to the art director of the Boys and Girls Club. So I was over all the Boys and Girls Club for Columbus. And so I got to redo the whole art program. So like my summer program was, I taught us how to make samurai armor out of cardboard. But in order to do that, we learned about samurai. And, then you had to, we learned about clans. Then you had to make a clan. You had to come up with your colors. You had to come up with the history of your clan. And, then you had to look at different types of armor. And, we made that armor out of cardboard. We spray painted and airbrushed that armor. We did the photo shoot with the armor, weapons and all that stuff. We did that for a whole month. Then the next month was we made a movie. We made a Star Wars movie with lightsabers. I had one of my friends from college come in. He shot it. We edited it together. We did stunt rehearsals. Every day we had lightsaber practice. We did, scripting. We did the whole thing, made a movie from scratch because I wanted them to see that you did not have to. That was one of the things that always bothered me in art classes, that there were people that didn't know how to draw, or, they'd say they can't draw. So I wanted to make my art classes incorporate as much of non-drawing stuff as possible. Like, you don't have to be able to draw to be a creative, to be an artist. And then my last month was hip hop. We made our own hip hop albums. So I had people come in and teach the kids breakdancing. Some of them shot music videos. We showed them how to do graphic design and make their own album covers. They went and recorded tracks and made music and stuff like that. So all this stuff, all these different things, these were all things that were in the art field that these kids could do. You can be a graphic designer. You can do, obviously you can be a rapper, you can be a singer, you can be a choreographer, you can learn how to dance and make money off of dancing, you can break dance, you can be a photographer and do photo shoots, you can be a casting director, you can be a writer, you can be a director, you can be a stunt person, you can be like all these different things that do not involve drawing. These are all creative art things, and I wanted a way to make sure all the kids got involved. And just I've been doing it ever since then. This will probably be the longest stint that I haven't done it because of the pandemic or whatnot. But, I was at Picktown Artworks, and I had a digital art class, had a comic book class, had all types of stuff, and was teaching up there and having a good time doing it. I tried to do some teaching streaming, but it just got to be too much, and I had to cut things out to make room for other things.
Well, you're really the first artist that we've had on the show. I mean, we had everybody else that we've had has been writers at this point, outside of Eric Cockrell from Essence House, who does art. You're the first true artist that I think we can really say. And you have a very unique style in the way you draw. During my deep diving of page 2 of Google, I found a video of you from, I think it was 9 years ago, when you were running a Indiegogo. And you talked about, and I had never heard of the story until I saw this video, but you talked about how you were going to cons and showing your artwork and showing your stuff to different editors. And one of the editors told you that your style was just too urban, quotation mark, for Marvel at the time. How much does that influence what you're still doing today? It's just that rejection of saying, you know what, my style was good enough, but just wasn't what they really wanted.
It's the spark that started everything.
Still to this day, it still sparks you though?
Yeah, because like if that conversation doesn't happen, then I don't feel like a loser and go home and sulk all day and bitch to my friends about it, and then wake up the next day and say I'm going to do Freestyle Komics. Like if that doesn't happen, Freestyle Komics doesn't happen because I get up the next day and I say, well, I'll make Marvel and DC come to me with my urban style, and I'll just make my own comic books, and that's where Hotshot gets started. That's where Hotshot takes life, rather, because I've always worked on that character since I've been in high school or whatnot, and that's when he really started taking shape and form. By trying to make it into a comic book or whatnot, but because like I want to make sure. I may not have been as big of an advocate for it back then or even as aware of it as I am now, but I knew that I wanted people to be able to see themselves. And it wasn't a big thing for me because I went to a college where it was super diversified. Like Columbus, Ohio is a melting pot. It's got one of the biggest colleges of all time there, the Ohio State. So we are getting people from all over the world coming down here to live in the city. And it's the same way with the art school, Columbus College of Art and Design. It's one of the top 5 art schools in America. So we're getting people all over the world coming here, and we're all in a dormitory. So when I'm going to school, when I'm going to class, when I'm in my dorm room or we're out in the lobby chilling, I'm not just seeing one type of people. I'm seeing all types of people. So when I'm drawing my comic books, I'm drawing all types of people because that's what I'm drawing. That's what I'm experiencing. I'm drawing my life. So the more and more that becomes a realization, the more and more that I focus on it. And now somebody asked me the other day on one of the other shows I was on, they asked me how much of how important is it to it? And I was like, well, it's not our focus. It's just how it is. It's how the book started. The main character is a black character, is a person of color, because I've always wanted to be a superhero. But then, when I look around at the table, that I have all these fandoms that I love. No knock against them. I love them. I absolutely do. But how many of those are leading people of color? How many of those characters are female characters that have their own anime or their own mainstream comic book that's doing numbers? It's more apparent now, with the last couple of years or whatnot. But that wasn't something that I saw when I play video games and you get to make a creative character. I always made a woman because there was plenty of games with a man in them. I saw all those, except for Mass Effect. I did create myself. Oh yeah, Danny Cooper still freaked out by that. Because
Mass Effect was a good game. That's a good series.
It's an amazing game. But I worked real hard to get that romantic relationship, and when I got it, because I used to live with Danny Cooper, and when I got it, I was like, Danny, come here, it's going down right now, baby. And Danny came in the room. He's like, what's happening? I was like, I got it. And Danny was like, oh, y'all are getting together. I was like, yeah, look, man, it's happening right now. And he was like, and then Danny started figuring out, like, oh God,
that's disgusting.
You. It's you. I can't watch this.
Bruh, that's hilarious because I know exactly what part you're talking about in the game too. Like, I could imagine having a roommate and saying, "This is my character that I've created to be romantically involved with this alien character," and bruh, it's amazing. That game was great.
It still freaks Danny Cooper out. He will always have a story about it. Still bothers him or whatnot. But but I digress. But seeing those things and being more apparent with them, having it happen, it was always in me. I want to say just because, like, that's just how I am. I want to see, like, I don't want to see the same thing. Like, I just watched Infinite on Paramount Plus. Spoilers, sorry. You won't be mad at me if I spoil it anyway because it's trash.
You plan on watching it.
It's just Hollywood can't keep making these movies with no heart. And like I'll die on this mountaintop. I absolutely love Fast and Furious. The Infinite tried to be Fast and Furious, but Infinite doesn't have any heart. None of the characters I believe in that movie. And then I feel like it's just kind of disrespectful to have a character that keeps reincarnating as a person of color from throughout all of history, but then all of a sudden, when we do the movie about the person, it's a white guy. I like Mark Wahlberg. He's funny. He's a great entertainer. But like that just really bothered me. Like all the back, except for one other character, he was white too. But all of his past lives, excluding these most two recent ones, were people of color. And then the bad guy was a black guy, And this, I can't remember his name, but this is a really dope actor. I love him. And this is the first role that I've seen him in that I didn't like him in, because it's just, it's these little subconscious things that, it's little and petty at first, but then you start seeing a trend in these movies, and it's like, guys, y'all got to stop doing this. You just have to stop, like, big special effects, big stunts, and that can't carry a movie anymore. The reason it works with Fast and Furious is because you love the people, you love the cast, and it has heart. I can excuse everything they're doing. I know Vin Diesel can't do any of that shit. I know all that stuff is ridiculous. I know it's over the top, but damn it, he says family and we ride. That's it.
You're like, let's go. Family, let's ride up.
I've bought into the universe, and then this Infinite movie took what is it? Altered Carbon, which Altered Carbon corrected its own mistakes in the second season. I like the second season just as much as I like the first season, and I feel like they course corrected things and made it, better. But like, it's like, why? So like, basically, my movie tastes now are just, it's so much harder now. Like, for me to go to the movie theaters for a movie, you got to do more. Fast and Furious, you got me. MCU, you got me. I'm going to the movie theaters. Cruella de Vil was better than Infinite. Like, much better.
It was solid though. Cruella was solid.
It was a great movie, and I went to that movie because I have kids, but I ended up winning. Infinite would have been something I would have went to the theaters to see. I mean, thank you Paramount Plus for putting it on the streaming service so I could watch it, because I would have been pissed if I went there, because it was so mundane. All the one-liners didn't hit. All the action to me didn't hit, because I'm like, I don't believe Mark Wahlberg in this role.
Mark Wahlberg usually does pretty good too.
Yeah, but he was doing shit outside of his lane in this movie. He was doing heroic outside of his lane in this one.
That's Mark Wahlberg movie I liked was with him and Andre 3000. Was that Brothers, Step Brothers, something like that?
Four Brothers. I just watched it the other day.
Yeah, Four Brothers. That's right. That was the last movie I've seen with him. I was like, this is a good movie.
He did a movie for Netflix with old boy from Black Panther. But it was good, and that fit a Mark Wahlberg role.
I like Shooter. Shooter's my favorite Mark Wahlberg movie.
Which one?
Shooter.
Shooter is good. But it's just like, y'all can't, like Hollywood, your formula, and don't get me wrong, all right? I know new movies are coming out. I know more TV shows are coming out that are adding that variety, that are adding that diversity lens to it or whatnot, and doing it in the right way. But I see why some of these shows are coming straight to streaming. Mm-hmm. And it may be that Hollywood is getting a glimpse, and aware, like, it's 2021. This movie, no one's gonna go see this to the degree we want to see in a movie theater. Let's send this right to a streaming service.
We went to the theater to see A Quiet Place 2. This is the first time we've been back to the theater since the pandemic, right? It cost us $150 to go see a movie for the six of us. The movie was good. The movie A Quiet Place 2 was solid. But
spoilers, I haven't seen it yet.
They all die. No, I'm just playing. But I'm not paying $150 to go see half of these movies that are coming out that I can watch on Netflix, or Paramount Plus or HBO Max. I'm not doing it.
And then at the same time, a lot of people are complaining that Disney's charging $30 for a movie that you don't get to keep.
That's nothing. When you have more than two people you take in the theater, that's nothing.
Legit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, are we really looking at the cost of this? You're talking about gas. You're talking about the movie tickets. And if you buy tickets online, there's a fee for buying them online. Then you're talking about food, snacks. If you're going out for the whole thing, like, that's more than $30.
Yep.
And when you go to the movie theaters to spend that money, you don't own the movie anyway. You're not getting to kick that movie.
You get one time.
Hey, Black Widow, I'm watching right there in my room over there. I'm watching it right online.
Mm-hmm.
Black Widow, I might go to the theater for. I'm still debating on that one. I do want to see Quiet Place.
Quiet Place, I got stuff about that. But, now that I know Danny J. Quick saw it, then me and him are going to get online and talk about that.
Yeah, y'all can do that afterwards or something without me, because I don't.
But so here's the thing. While I have issues with Quiet Place is still a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Good acting. Okay. I believe everyone in their role. Overall, it's a good story. It's just, how when you watch horror movies and you say if they do this one thing,
Mm-hmm.
then the whole movie's over and they're saved. Well, there's a point in Quiet Place where if they do this one thing, they get a whole nother movie. I feel like they forced a movie that they wanted instead of the movie that they should have done.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that because I thought that about the second movie, but I won't say anything. But the second movie, I thought that same thing because, well, not necessarily that, but if this thing would actually happen, then it would have changed the whole. But yeah, I'm with you.
All right, I'll go watch Quiet Place this weekend or something. I wanted to go, but nobody in my house wants to watch it with me. So,
well, but then again, that movie was enough to get me to go to the movie theaters to go see it.
Yeah.
So
I enjoyed the first one. That's why I want to go see the second one in the theater.
I'm very particular about what movies I go see now versus staying at home and watching on streaming service. But it's just like this same formula can't continue to happen anymore. Like you guys, like we can't keep putting out the same stuff. Like you can't just think that because you got an A-star actor, action star in this movie, and then you got 13 dope special effects and 16 dope stunts, and then an okay storyline that you stole from other storylines, and like that's going to cut it anymore. Like it's not.
Yeah.
You got anything else for her?
I'm done. I didn't realize we just sitting on here just talking. We on here just taking up Mike's time. We just out here talking about everything. So that's it for me. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. You got anything else?
I do have one thing. And since Mike is the host of Chat and Draw, if you haven't watched any of Chat and Draw, I highly recommend them. They're entertaining, they're fun, and Mike always produces amazing artwork. I had this notion to actually do a Chat and Draw for this episode for you, Mike, just to see you could see how it's like. But unfortunately, family stuff came up, and I just didn't have the energy to do it, unfortunately. But I did start it, and I want to show you what I got to. Now, you let me know what you think here. So this is, and for everybody that's not watching the video, this is, hopefully you guys can see this.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
So I started off with a little headshot of Mike Watson's Hotshot. He was a little battered, a little bruised. I was going to color it up and everything, but just life got in the way. So hopefully I did you some justice. I don't know.
Oh, no, you did. Hey, just go ahead and ink that. I'll give Veronica the color.
All right.
I like it.
All right.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, baby. That's how we like Hotshot. Battered and bruised.
Battered and bruised.
Well, if my life comes back to a point where I can get back to this, I will definitely finish it. It's just personal things came up and slowed me down, but I will finish this when I can.
I like the little snot dribble coming out right there. I like that. Somebody
you like that, huh?
The snot out of.
Yeah, I know. I'm not as fast as Mike. When he I have no idea how you were able to bust out an image in like an hour while talking and interviewing people. I couldn't do that. This has taken me like 2 hours so far, just this point. So.
Well, I appreciate it. It's, if I have to equate it to anything, it's from comic book conventions, and back in high school, we carried around our sketchbooks and we battled. Like you had to be ready to battle at a moment's notice. Like if somebody called you out, you had to just throw down immediately at that spot, whatever it is. Somebody would, like everybody kind of knew the rules, so whoever was around kind of just knew if a battle happened, they would just be the ref, and they come up with something for you to draw, and you have to draw it in that moment.
I've seen you and Ren do that online a couple of times.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And then that comic, I really don't want to take commissions home back to the hotel room with me, so I'll be trying to get them.
All right. Well, this has been fun, Mike. I'm glad you were able to join us. I wish we had time, but I know you're a busy man, and Danny's always busy. He's got family for some reason that he wants to spend time with. But before we let you go, we do want to make sure that you get your link out to where people can check out your Kickstarter. So if you don't mind dropping that, so everybody can know where it is,
and your social medias.
Absolutely.
We'll get to that. But you're messing me up, man. You're messing me up. Kickstarter is more important right now. All right. I want free comics.
Absolutely. You can get to the Kickstarter of the Hotshot collection, numbers 1 through 8 at Freestyle Komics, KOMICS.net. We'll take you right to our Kickstarter. We are just 8,000. We're 8,500 right now, trying to get to that next stretch goal to 9,000. There's ton of stuff. There's ton of stuff on this Kickstarter. We got stuff for old fans of Hotshot. We got stuff for new fans of Hotshot. We've got stuff on here for hardcore comic book collectors. We've got stuff for new comic book collectors. We got stuff for casual comic book collectors. If you're into art, original art from comic books, we got that type of stuff. If you're into variant covers, we got that. If you are trying to catch up on the entire FSK library, we have that option as well. So please go check out the Kickstarter. We've got like 12 or 13 days left on it. If we hit 10,000, you get Cthulhu vs. Oz, 168 Indie All-Star Award-winning comic book, digital version, and we're giving away Hotshot 10, the brand new issue of Hotshot 10, never released before, first part in our story called Unforgiven, part 1 of 4. So please check that out. If you don't have any money to back it, that's cool. I appreciate you anyway. Go ahead and go over there and give me a share. Share us out to your network to as many people as you can. That is just as valuable as funds being put on there. And
I might add, even if you don't have a lot of money, just donate $1, because that $1 still sends that notification out to everybody that follows you on Kickstarter that you backed something. It doesn't tell them how much you backed, but even that $1 sends you out to maybe 10, 15 other people that might be interested in it.
Yeah. All that's appreciated. Like I said, June 16th, we're doing a backathon. So we'll be online, from 6 o'clock to midnight, trying to get as many backers as we can, literally just backing for $1. We'll have exclusive stuff that we're giving out for you guys for doing that or whatnot to spread the word. And I've learned this thing about branding, being part of Short Fuse Media Group. So you can literally catch me on all social media platforms as Most Epic Art. If some of you are asking, well, what's Most Epic Art? It is most enthusiastic person in comics, which is my moniker, my stage name and things like that. So Most Epic Art on all social media platforms.
Very nice. Danny, where can we find you and your amazing work?
Everywhere, The Ace Blade. That's TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. The Ace Blade, at The Ace Blade, and you'll find the Purple Ninja Dude. What about you,
I just realized that you were sporting a Concrete Comics shirt, man. That's nice.
It's they got a nice soft cotton. I mean, if I had I've worn my Hotshot Nike shirt probably like 3 times a week, bro. Like I love that shirt. But you know, I had to throw on something. I got all these indie comics company shirts, so I sport them all week.
Cool. Make sure you wash it, please.
Wash.
Wow.
All right, everybody. Well, if you want to find me, you can find me at tauruscomics.com. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr, I think at Taurus Comics. You can find me on TikTok and at Twitch at Kyrun49. If you want to catch up on any of our previous episodes of this podcast, you can go to fourtalespodcast.com. That's number 4, TALES podcast.com. You can find links to all our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even our Patreon. So if you want to help support this podcast and maybe see some behind the scene video of us, and again, Danny's amazing purple wall, go online and become a Patreon subscriber. We will do our best to send out Michael's links to his thongs here. That sounds like said thongs. Let me redo it. We will do our best to send out all the links that Michael will post about his Backathon and his Kickstarter. We will make sure we link that in the pod notes here. But thank you, gentlemen, for being part of this. Anything else you guys want to say before we leave?
I want to say thank you for allowing me on your platform and asking really good questions. This is a great format you guys have set up here. I've really enjoyed the conversation. So I do appreciate you guys letting me on here to play in your world and get access to your audience and things like that. So just thank you.
I'm glad to have you on here, man.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on, man.
All right, everybody. Well, take care. Sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves. And we will see you next time. Music provided by Quick Made It. That's QUIXKMADEIT. Find them on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Are you interested in getting an episode of Four Tales podcast before everybody else? While getting video behind the scenes of what happens with each of our interviews? Well, now you can. By supporting us through Patreon, you can actually get every episode of the Four Tales podcast one day earlier. You can also get video of what happens at each of our sessions for only a couple dollars more. So if you want to help support and make this podcast even better, go to patreon.com/4talespodcast today and choose your tier.